another class of English grammar. And as whenever we deal with some new topic of grammar, we try to create the relationship with that topic to our daily life. So today's topic that we're going to deal with actually creates a lot of image in our life, in the society that we live in. Like when you will go in an interview, or just suppose you're walking around a garden or a park and you're meeting someone new over there. It's your image that actually matters, like the way you talk, the way you will talk to that person in an interview, or the person who is walking, you just the way you talk to that person also. All these things, that the way you talk will actually create an image of yours in the mind of the others. Okay, so what is the topic? Image. Okay, so an image will be formed in someone's eyes about you by the way you talk. So let's suppose you went to your friend's house and you were doing a project of your friend. Now your friend suddenly comes and tells that, oh my god, there's an error in your work and you must rectify this error. So what she's telling? She's telling you must. So when she talks to you in this tone of an order that you must rectify that, then what happens? A bad image is created in your mind about that person. Oh my god, this person is so rude. At least it happens with me so many times, when someone uses this type of wrong words in a sentence, when interaction, it creates a very bad image of that person in our mind. Like we think that, oh my god, this person does not even have a way of talking, she's not even polished, she doesn't even know how to interact. So this type of a image comes in our mind, and what happens? We generally move away from those person. Okay, those can't deal with all those person who don't know how to talk. Okay, why? Because we don't want to get hurted. We always want to get happy, we want to live happily, we want to give happiness everywhere. So when we get this type of behavior in a very ordering tone, in an unjustified manner, so that creates a very negative image. Now, suppose that friend comes and tells you that, oh, thank you so much, you have been working so hard, but can you please rectify this? So what is the word instead of must? What is the word used here? Can. Okay, so the word instead of must used here is can. Now you can see that when that person is telling you in this manner that can you please do this, then what we think, okay, she is so good, she's talking to me like this, I will give my 100% and I will make her project better. Okay, so in an interview also, if you talk to the person in a very calm tone, in a very positive manner, by using proper words, so that creates what? An image of yours in front of others. Okay, so this is a way of talking, this is a way of using certain words in order, in request, in command, and in many things, the words that actually particular go with those type of sentences. Okay, so that brings us to our new topic, which is known as models. So here we will see where can should be used, where should be used, where will should be used, and all those sorts of things which actually helps us to create a better image in the mind of someone else with whom we are going to talk. Okay, so grammar is not only about just learning and creating proper sentence construction. In English, when you talk to someone, it depends 110% on the representation, on the grammatical way of speaking, on your tone, and on your sophisticated terms, that the person in front of you will think that you are not just a literate person, but also you are a very cultured and a polished person. Okay, you're very polished. So we will deal with this topic models, when we will see that where you can't use, oh, you have done a mistake and you must rectify it. Instead, we will see that how should you talk, like can you just rectify it. So we will see that how certain words in sentences creates a wrong image in the mind of others, and how should those words be used properly to create a proper image. Okay, so let's start today's topic. So what are models and how are they used? We will see that first. Okay, So these are auxiliaries such as can, must, could, would, etc., which are used with main verb. Used with what? Used with the main verb. So modals are those auxiliaries such as can, must, could, would, etc., which are used with the main verbs to express such ideas. To express what? To express ideas. As I was telling you that certain times can is used to express one sort of idea, must is used to express one sort of idea. So they actually expresses certain ideas. Okay. So this is the work of the modal, and they are used with the main verbs and they are the auxiliaries. Okay. Like ideas such as possibility, permission, etc., as we were talking about. Okay. So these are the examples like can, must, could, would. Okay. So this is the basic thing. So this type of definition or this sort of thing is not necessary. This is just for the idea. And as you have already dealt with modals in class 8, 9 and all those classes, so you're comfortable with this thing. So this is nothing new to them. So as we are just getting another revision sort of thing of this chapter where we will deal with this thing. Okay. So this is not necessary in your exam. Okay. Now what type of a pattern will be there for modals? According to new thing, we are expecting MCQ sort of questions on grammar. Okay, so we have a chance that MCQ sort of questions will come for modals, and as many as 10 marks could be allotted for grammar in our new pattern. So we can expect a whole lot of marks from this modal sections, and this is the application in MCQs. Okay, and this is in your grammar portion. Okay, so these things are not necessary. So what is necessary, we will see to it. But before that, let us discuss the characteristics of modals. What the characteristics? So firstly, as far as characteristics are concerned, they don't use ing or ed. Okay, like you can never see can plus ing. Okay, we don't use certain things. Okay, like ed, can plus ed, canned. No, we don't use these things. So no ing or ed is used in modals. Next, they don't use s or es. Okay, what again they don't use? They don't use s and es. Now number 3, they they actually quotients, when we use quotient sort of things, in what? We're using this model when quotient types of sentences are formed, that is interrogative sentences are formed. They are formed without do or does. Okay, in present tense and did in the past tense. So this is not a thing that we don't use do or does or did in sorts of quotients where modals are used. Like, can I help you? Okay, this is a sentence, can I help you? So here this modal is used. So do we see any do, does or did in this sentence? No. Why? Because a modal is used, so we are not using any do, does or did in this sentence. Okay, so this is another characteristics. And finally, when negative sentences are concerned, a not is added or a short not is added. Okay, so what is added? A not is added or a short not is added, like cannot or can't. Okay, So cannot or can't, in this you can see a not is added and a short nt is added. So okay, so these are the characteristics. Again I'm telling you, these types of question will not come that write down the characteristics or write down this is ing added or is es added. These types of questions are not going to come. But still, why did we do this? We do this just to make this chapter a bit more comfortable to us. Okay, now we will deal with must. Okay, I will just show you certain things that how must is used. Okay, how is it used? It's used for all persons in present. Okay, in present tense it is used for all persons, and not only in present but also in future. Okay, so in both present and future tense it is used for all types of person. Okay, the negative of it is, the negative of must is, do you know? Short nt is added. Okay, what is added? A short nt is added, mustn't. Okay, and in interrogative what happens? Must I. Okay, so this must is used in both negative sentence, I mustn't do this or I must not do this, and in interrogative sentence also it can be used like must I. Okay, must I do this type of a thing. Okay, now we will see that what does must expresses. So again this is not going to come, so this is just for the clearance of the idea must. Now the main thing that how it's going to come and what are the things necessary for us to know as much as syllabus or examination is concerned. Okay, so now must expresses. Okay, so what does must express? Okay, first, obligation. Obligation means I'm obliged, means so this is a sentence, you must obey your parents. Okay, so here I can see the must is used that you're obliged, that you have to, that sort of thing. Okay, you must obey your parents means that is a very necessary thing. When things are so necessary, when an obligation is involved over there, then what we use must. Okay, next, next is compulsion. Compulsion means when you have to do something and that is something which you can't avoid, means that is compulsory, means you have to give your exam. So in that case, in that sort of compulsion, must is used. Like okay, you must answer all the questions. So here you can see that you have to answer all the questions. So you have a compulsion to answer all the questions. So must is used over here. Fine. After obligation and compulsion, we will see for something which is probably true. Okay, something which is probably true, like there must be some mistake. Like suppose someone is working in your home to fix the light. Okay, but after he fixes the light, still when you're switching the lights, when you just switching on the light switch, then what is happening? The light is still not lit. Okay, still the light is not lit. So what do you think? That there must be some mistake in the work they have done. That is why the condition that is which is happening, that is there is no light, that condition, that negative condition is still prevailing even after you bought an electrician and he worked in the line of the connectivity of the light. Still when you're putting on the switch, the light is not there. Okay, so what do you think? There must be some problem, there must be something which the electrician has done, and that is why the light is still off. Okay, so now you understand, when the result is not according to you, then you know that there must be some sort of problem in the work process. In that time, when you are sure that there is a problem in the work process, and that is why the result is negative or positive in front of you, then you use what? Then you use must. That is, there must be some mistake, something which is probably true, that is the light is not there. So something which is probably true, we know that, so there must be some mistake. Clear? So here we use must. Negative. Okay, in sort of negative, you must not come here. So this is a very clear line. You must come here, you must not come here. So we don't have to argue anything with this. Now another thing, when you give an emphatic advice, what? An emphatic advice. Okay, when you give an emphatic advice, in that sense also you use the word must. Emphatic advice means like, you like this person, you like that this is your friend, okay, he or she or whatever it is your friend, and you concerned about his or her health because she is having fever. So in that case, when you know that she is that person whom you are talking to, or let me suppose that your friend's mother is whom you are talking to in phone, and you come to know that your friend is suffering from certain problem, then what you do, you feel a very sort of emotions in yourself. You feel, no, this is not right, that my friend is not okay. So at that time, what do you give? You give an advice. What type of an advice? An emphatic advice. Means an advice where there is full of emotions, where there is full of concern. So in that case, you say she must consult a doctor. You are giving an emphatic advice. You are not telling that can you please show a doctor or like that sort of thing. You're not talking in that manner, or you're not talking to someone like you should see a doctor. No, but you're telling she must, means she has to do this thing. So that is a concern. So in that type of talks, when you're talking to someone like that manner, then you're going to use what? Must. Clear? To tell you some details about these two. Okay, I'm going to add a to after both have and had. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a bit details about have to and had to. So as we know that must, when I was explaining about must, I have told you numerous number of times that when someone have to do something, and that condition we use must. Okay, so when someone have to do something, that means we, in the obligation sense also, we use have to. Okay, so you must consult a doctor, you have to consult a doctor. Okay, so in obligation both must comes and have to comes. And as had is the past of, is used in the past sense, so when obligation happens in the past sense, then we use had to. Okay, so this is the two difference between, these are the two differences, and these are two similarity between these two with must. Okay, so whenever there is a sentence, when you feel that there should be an have to, means that person have to do this or had to do this, at that time what you're going to use? Must. Okay, so that is why I was telling you this trick. Now our next is should. What is it? It's should. Okay, should comes from what? Do you have any idea? Should comes from what? Should comes from shall. Okay, we use I shall do this. Now for should, what is the thing that we use? We use it for, again, obligation. We use it for what? We use it for obligation. As for obligation, we have already seen the examples. Next, it is used for duty. When you have to do any duty, when there is a thing that when you have to do this, that means you no must will be there. There will be what? There will be should. Must is that तुमको करना है, and should is that तो by default you have to do this because that's your duty. So whenever you know that the sentence is concerned with the duty thing, like you have to do certain duty towards your parents, at that moment you're not going to use any sort of models, but what you're going to use? You're going to use should, where by the sentence you know that you dash the feet of your you dash the feet of your parents, so you dash message the feet of your parents. So at that time you know there will be you should message the feet of your parents because you know that's your duty. Okay, so that sort of things. So when you know that it is your duty to do a certain work, it is duty to study, that means you should study. There is no must over there. So when you know that I dash study, I should study. Why? Because that is your duty. So whenever you sense in the sentence any sort of duty, let's just blindly apply the word should over there. Okay. Next, after obligation and duty, it is also used for advice. Not an emphatic advice. Okay, there cannot be this. There can be that is no emotions are related with this sort of advice. Okay, this is a general advice. So when we see a general advice, when there is no such emotions attached or may be attached, it varies. It's not compulsory that emotions will be attached. Like it was compulsory in must. So in that case, we use should. Okay. So after that, after advice, we also use it for suggestion. So this thing you know, we have used it for suggestion, and then we use it to express polite request. Express what? Express polite request. Like, I should be thankful to you. I should be thankful to you. Okay, so maybe this you have done certain work for I. So in that condition, when this you have done certain work for I, then what is there? I should be thankful to you. Like, I should be thankful to you if you give me some money. Okay, so this person is what he is doing. This I is requesting something to you. What is this I doing? She is requesting. So when they're requesting something, then she is using this term that I should be thank you. This I can just request, okay, I request you, please give me some money. That was what a sort of sentence. Okay, just please give me some money. That was a request. But when we are trying to give a polite request, what sort of request? A more polite request that will actually be very effective in the world. When you are talking to someone, if you are requesting someone and you are doing it in a polite manner, so that will create a very good impression. Okay, so in that is the manner. So here you can talk like this: I should be thankful to you if you do this work for me. Okay, so when you're requesting, there is also variation that you can apply. So this is a very sophisticated language. This is a way of talking that you can apply. Okay, so in what more cases can we use should? Okay, so after we have dealt with expressing polite request, now we will deal with express purpose. Means you should. Like, Hina worked hard so that she should talk. So she should talk. Okay, she has a mentality to talk in the class, she should top. Okay, she deserves to be the topper in the class. Okay, so Hina had worked already so hard that she should top. Okay, so we know that Hina has worked very hard, and now we know that as Hina has worked very hard, so she should top. Okay, so there was a purpose. There was a purpose of what? Purpose of topping in the class. Okay, so for that we can use should. Now, state imaginary results. So when we state imaginary results, then also we use should. Imaginary result like she should get angry if he had come to know about it. She should get angry. So she should get angry if she had come to know about it. Okay, so when she should get angry, she should get angry if, like, you know, if means something which have not happened, which is still not happening. Okay, so if he had come to know about this thing, if he not come to know about this thing, if means imaginary, so this condition is not present, this condition is not happening over here. So in that type of sentence where the condition is resting on an if, like that condition haven't been done in reality, there we use should. Like, if this happens, then she should get angry. Okay, so if this happens, then she should get angry, but this hasn't happened till now. So in that condition, what do we use? We use should. So now after should, we will just now talk something about need. Need is used with the not in the negative sentence, like need not, I need not do this. And need is always sometimes used for obligation. I need to do this. Okay, you need to do this, you need to do this thing for me, please you do this thing. Okay, so in that sort of obligation, again need is used. So when obligation comes, as I have described those words, only those words will be used in obligation. Okay, now after obligation, it's also necessary some necessity. What? Necessity. Okay, like if you do, I need to do this so desperately, I need to top this year so desperately, I need to pass my exam so desperately, means when there is a condition that you are not even sure that you will pass or fail in your exam, at that time what type of a mentality will come? That kaise bhi karke karna hai, so I need to do this. Okay, so this is a necessity, it becomes very necessary for us to pass the examination. So in that becomes very necessary for us to pass the examination. So in that case, what we use? Necessity, need. Okay. Okay, I will deal something about ought to. Okay. Ought to is used when something is right, like you need to get up early. Okay, when you will tell like this, so you ought to get up early. Okay, so when something is right, when something is so much right that you have to do that work, when you have to do that why? Because that work is right. Okay, right and wrong, when ethics come, when right and wrong things come, then what happens? Ought to is used. Okay, now you ought to believe me that I didn't stole this thing. Okay, so when you need someone's belief, that time how will you talk? You will talk with this word ought to. Okay, when someone needs to believe something very strongly, at that time what we use? We use ought to. Now when we see or hear something, at that time also we use ought to, like you ought to see her, she is so intelligent. Okay, she is so creative, you ought to see her drawing because it is so beautiful. At that time, what we do, we use ought to. When you have to do, you will not say like you must see her drawing, you should see her drawing. No, when that sort of thing is involved with sensory things, then you're going to use ought to. It's a better word. Okay, fine. Now, after this, one important thing about ought to, okay, that is, read this sentence. You ought to have listened to my advice. So this is a condition when the person is telling that you ought to have listened to my advice beforehand. Okay, so this means that something which has already happened, this advice has already been taken. This is a past sentence. Why? Because listened. So now there is no use of this thing. But so in which is the case over here? Past case. Okay, so in past some type of thing was done. Okay, and the thing that was done is actually it has produced a negative result. How do we know? Because this advice this person has not listened. That is why I am telling you, like suppose one of your exam had got you have got very bad marks. So what will I tell you? I will tell you, you ought to have listened to my advice and written and have practiced question answer writing in your literature long answers which were value based. Okay, so this advice I am giving you continuously, that in literature practice long answer writing, that too with those are value based, and you people are not doing that in your literature notebook. So when your result will go bad, then what will I tell you? I will tell you, you ought to have listened to my advice to get good marks. Okay, so clear? So in that case, when I have given you an advice like you ought to practice answer writing, it's your class 10, and you have not listened to my advice and you haven't written those things in your answer literature notebook, and that time when you after you giving your examination, your result came and your marks was not good, I will tell you this, you ought to have listened to my advice and written those answers in your notebook. Clear? So this advice I have given you, and that you haven't followed my advice, and as a result the consequences was not according to us, the consequences was not good, and so when the consequences was not good, the result was not good, at that time what we say, that you ought to have done this in the past. Clear? Some type of thing which was done in the past which produced a negative result creates a scenario where ought to is used. Now, after this, these were some difficult things which I dealt with which you can have some confusions. Okay, so these were some sort of thing that which you can have confusion and which you need to know in this class 10 level a bit in deep. Now, the clear ones, the casual ones which we have been using from centuries. Okay, like what? Can. Ability, I can do this. You can study well, you can write good English. So can is used for ability. Permission, can I go to the washroom? Okay, so permission is you take in the class, ma'am, can I go to the washroom, and all those things. So that sort of permission where also can is used. Next, probability. It can happen, it has chances to happen. I can top, like when I asked you in your first class who is going to top in your exam, some of you told that we can do this. Yes, we can do. Okay, so that was a probability in which you people were not sure that you will top or you people will not top. So that was a probability happened with you at that time in your mentality. Okay, so here what we used? Can. You used can. Okay, fine. Okay, let us be. Now, could. Could. Well, how is could used? Could is used for past ability. Why? Because can is the present, so could will be past. I could have done this. Okay, I could have done this. I had the capacity within me to study hard and top the examination, but I didn't study. That was a separate thing. But I could have done this. So this was a past ability that I'm talking about. Again, past permission. Okay, after past permission, it will be what? Probability. It could happen, and like that sort of thing again. And what is new here? Request. This is a request. Request of what? Request like, could you do this for me? Okay, so here's a request happening over here. This thing, these are very common things, you know. This is a very easy sort of thing. Main thing is that about this ability thing, which is more necessary for you, that this is the present ability and this is the past ability. So learn the differences. Okay. So after can and could and should and must and ought to, need and have to, we will shift to may. Probability. This chances of this probability is less than can. Okay, this may happen. Okay, when you say this can happen, it's much more simple, that it can happen, it can't happen. It's a much more simple informal language. Okay, and what we are using here, probability. In probability we also use may. It may happen, it may not happen. So it's again a probability. Like in obligation we have seen must and should and all those things. Similarly in may also there is a probability of something which will happen. Permission. May I go to the washroom? Simple. Again a permission that you people always take. Now might. This might happen. Probability. Okay. So you are not going to use should here. You are going to use a might here. Okay. So learn the differences from should, must and all those things. Now another thing. Will. It's a very hardcore prediction. Okay, so no prediction is so hardcore. It is just 100% prediction that it will happen. Okay, so the pressure, the enforcement is much more. It can happen when we say, then the probability chances are so 50-50 maybe, like that sort of thing. But when there is a will, the chances increases. Okay, so when I say that I can pass the examination, so that means my confidence level is much low. But when we use that I will pass the examination, at that time my confidence level is much higher. Okay, so it varies according to your emotions, that you will, that will represents prediction. Clear? So this was the main thing, this was the main dealings that we deal with this in this model video. And again I'm telling you, MCQs, there are chances of coming. MCQs are going to come, like you have to select from 3 or 4 options that which will be most suitable for you. And it's basically you have read literature so many times, so it will be much easier for you to reconnect. And this model topic has been in your syllabus for centuries. Like in 8 you have done this, in 7 maybe you have done this, in 9 you have of course done this. So it's just a revision lesson or nothing more for you, because you people are very much comfortable with this topic. And what else, when doing the MCQs, you're not going to invest much time in the section. Okay, so you're just going to read the questions. How you're going to attempt, I'm telling you how you're going to attempt. And time. Okay, so now answering. So how are you going to answer all these things? First thing is you're going to read how, as I tell you, you have to read very carefully. Okay, after reading, then what is the second thing you're going to do? The second thing you're going to is read the options. Read the options. After reading the options, what will you do? After reading the options, eliminate. If you find the wrong option in the beginning only, like I will pass the examination, that sort of confidence, if you don't find that in your answer options, like you have seen in answer, I dash my examination, I dash passed my examination, I must, I need, so you know, no, examination result is still pending, and so you're going to use a will over there. Okay, so elimination is the next thing that you have to do over here. And then what you have to do is choose the correct option. Okay, and all these things that you're going to do, all these things, their time duration must not be more than 15 minutes, okay, for all the grammar, okay. All grammar MCQ time duration must not exceed 15 minutes because there will be a rechecking also. I want you people to complete your examination sheet so that you can revise it at least 2 times, that maybe you have done something wrong or right. So there should be a fixed time duration. So within 15 minutes, I think it will be sufficient for you to read the model portion and answer them, okay. So I hope in that manner you will be able to do this very, very easily, okay. So thank you.